Hello, I've just done my final walk for the day, so that's why my hair's a mess and I'm in these sweaty clothes. But this is a video about 5 videos from my channel which I enjoyed making or thought were really cool. So let's have that intro. So straight away we jump into the theme of sex, and there's lots of sexual references on my channel, and I think the reason I chose this one was because this one really goes to the extremes with sexual swear words, and it's amazing, truly amazing, how I get away with it. I really don't know how they don't get blocked, but this is one of the real extremes of sexual swearing, and I like it because it's not, it's not the sort of thing you'd expect, and it's rude beyond belief, and I just like it. So here's a clip.
What are you looking for? Right, a big, black, hairy cock. Do I have any distinguishing features? I have a penis.
And while we're at it, talking on the theme of banned content, there have been a few videos on my channel which have been blocked. Like my sex education video where I showed a page 3 girl, and that got blocked, which I thought was a bit unfair because, newspapers are everywhere, so any child could pick up a newspaper and go, oh look, there's a page 3 girl. So that was my basis on it, but they didn't like it, so they chucked it off.
If Colin finds the right girl, he can ask her if she'd be interested in sucking his penis.
So now we move on to the next one, which is the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, which I like because it had really good costumes. We had the crown of thorns, which was amazing. And the blood, I think the blood perhaps was a bit too extreme. I think there was too much blood, but it was good, and Mum and Toby were both in it, so that was also cool. So here is a clip.
Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?
Come on! If you're the Son of God!
Now, in my professional work and in YouTube, Hitler comes up all the time. I think it's because Hitler is such an easy target for constant attack, and it's so easy to just make fun. So there have been lots of appearances of Hitler. Originally, I think I drew the moustaches on, but now I use fake moustaches. And this one comes from me watching this documentary called Blitz Street. And every time I watch that documentary, I get inspired to make something about the war. And this one was no different. And I like this one because it is historical. It's really, really historical. It's quite accurate. And basically, I love the sets. I love how I did it. And I think it's an educational lesson, but it's also pretty good acting, if I don't say so myself. And of course we have Winston Churchill in there. We had Winston Churchill in there as well, so that made it extra special. So here are a couple of clips from A Shower of Incendiary Bombs.
Sir, the water supply is extremely low. What? We only have a few buckets left. Then use the river. That's the problem, sir. It's neap tide. The Thames is at its lowest point. You must try, man.
Yeah. So the fourth one, which I've picked, is a personal favourite, really. I just like this one. And it's me recreating the scene from Doctor Who, episode 1 of The Web of Fear, which in those days, that was the only part of the one we had. So I like that scene, and so I wanted to recreate it. And because I've listened to it so many times over the years, the way that it sounds, I can just sort of mimic. So I like it mostly because it mimics it so well, and it could almost be a copy of it. So that's why I like the Web of Fear recreation.
Father. Anne. What are you doing here? Looking for you. Oh? You were supposed to be meeting me. Was I? At the airport. No. Father, what is the matter? You sent me a cable telling me you're in great trouble and I've travelled halfway across the world. Trouble! Yes! A great deal of trouble. And it's that thing! The Yeti?
Now, you should bear in mind that at one point I had 2,000 videos on YouTube. So it's hard to pick out 5 and say these are the best. So they're not the top 5, they're just 5 that I have vivid memories of. So, and this next one I just love. I think it was in the days when I was like, oh, what should I do next? And things were a little short of me finding ideas. So I think I was watching Family Guy, and there's that scene where a man has a relationship with a tree stump. And so I worked on that idea, and I had this one where we had a guy falling in love with a can of Oust, you know, the air freshener. And I like it because, once again, it's completely and utterly insane. It's a mad idea. But again, it's a very sexual thing. I mean, I think there's a scene where I'm actually shirtless, and it sort of, the copulation is happening. But I think it's just wonderful because it's so utterly absurd. And I think Marvin Gaye helps a lot with his Let's Get It On, and that's my favourite scene, actually. So let's watch.
It doesn't sound that way to me. You heard? Yes, my love. That dragon doesn't respect you. But I do. You're only interested in the sex. I'm not, James. I love you. Let's get it on.
So that's the 5, and there are countless others which I could have picked, like the 3-part Misery one I did, because I like Misery. Misery is a wonderful film and it's a wonderful book. So Misery, I like that one, doing that one. And Titanic, which was enormous amount of work to do, enormous, but because it's such an old video now, it kind of makes me cringe a bit. But yeah, I mean, the videos I don't like so much are the very early ones where I have no hair, and the ones, you know, quite a few are just so insane, and I just don't like them at all. And I never let anyone watch my videos when I'm in the room, because I'm just not that confident. But there's a flashback, a couple of my videos, so yeah.